got Pluto stationing direct for the second to last time in the sign of Capricorn. But this time, square Mars and the lunar nodes. Ooh. All right. So Pluto is going to be stationing direct at 27 degrees Capricorn, 53 minutes on October 10th of 2020. This is our second to last station ever for Pluto in Capricorn. So we are truly nearing the end of an era since 2008 when Pluto entered Capricorn. Now, I don't know if any of you have noticed this. I know I was noticing this. I know Dan Waits on X, formerly known as Twitter, mentioned this as well, that since Pluto regressed back into Capricorn in June, that we haven't seen as much going on with the AI and everything that Pluto in Aquarius really brought up. It's still going on, it's in the background, but we're not hearing about it as much. So we're getting a little bit of a reprieve here and seeing more of this like capitalistic monster and like inequality, vast wealth inequalities, and things like that, that Pluto and Capricorn really put on the map. So yeah, we're seeing a lot of issues there. It's interesting to note that this is the degree. It's the same degree, not to the minute, but it's the same degree as the United States Pluto return. So we might expect to see some themes echoing there. But I wanted to show you this chart just to bring a couple things to your attention. Number one, Pluto is going to be stationing in a square with the nodes. So again, not exact, but Mars is there. So it's kind of the midpoint of the Mars South Node there. And since Pluto regressed into Capricorn in June, I've been noticing in my personal life and the personal lives of other people in my orbit and in my clientele as well, that there's been sort of an increase in passings, people passing away, people, pets, people leaving. So Pluto on the nodes, I've been noticing that there's what feels like an increased theme of people saying, you know, it's my time to go. So I don't know if you've noticed that too, but that's something to maybe think about. Major transitions happening around the time of Pluto squaring the nodes. Maybe we're making conscious choices in our direction around Pluto, which way that we're going to go, which way that we're going to live our life. Pluto, does nothing half-ass. It's all about committing fully to what we want to do. So yeah, with this Pluto stationing with Mars at 29 degrees here, I think this is going to be a pretty big aspect. We do have the exact Mars-Pluto square that's happening a couple days prior on October 8th. I just want to draw your attention to this because Eris is also here. So this is a pretty volatile aspect, if you ask me. We've got Eris on the North Node saying representation, equality. She's the punk rocker. And then we've got Mars on the South Node saying, I really don't want to have to fight about this. I really want to find a way to make this work through legislation. Mars in Libra is saying, can't we use the power of the pen or the power of negotiation? Mars on the South Node really doesn't want to fight, but Eris on the North Node does. So it's like maybe we've tried and it's not really working. This can be a very powerful verbal altercation, I would say, with Pluto here. It's an eruption of some kind. So there may be some sort of verbal altercation, threats, maybe significant threats. I think Mars and Libra would make a threat, but maybe not necessarily advance. So yeah, threats to overpower or advance transgressions or trespasses. I know that we're starting to see things, I don't know, I haven't been following it as closely, to be honest, but the, war between Ukraine and Russia, this might be one to watch right now with an aspect like this. But yeah, I mean, Mars Pluto can be pretty volatile. But I'm wondering if this one will be more threats of it and instead of actual blow-ups. But in our own lives, sometimes I experience this transit to be like, I really need to move some energy. I always feel like I need to do a really sweaty workout around this time because we're feeling it too. This energy is primal. This energy is just like it boils your blood. You're going to want to sweat. You're going to want to exert energy. So yeah, if there's something that has been stewing and this could be the point where you blow your lid a little bit. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot happening right now at this crossroads. There's also this exact Venus-Saturn opposition. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of like a point in Libra season where we're not at eclipse season yet, but things really seem to be heating up. So if you're experiencing tension in your relationships, if you're experiencing tension in the world, this might be the time that the stuff that you've been holding and trying to keep the peace with, it comes out. And, hopefully there's a healthy blow up, a healthy release, and then Venus, Saturn can help us rebuild and come up with a plan. But yeah, there's just a lot of dark goddess energy here. Eris on the North Node, Black Moon, Lilith conjunct Venus. There's just like a lot of no more bullshit kind of energy going on here. But I think what makes me feel hopeful is that there's a willingness to try to solve it. So I hope that helps. Pluto stations can bring up kind of like an eerie feeling, especially if you're going through a Pluto transit. This can kind of intensify it. So if you have planets in the late degrees of the cardinal signs, you're really going to be feeling this a lot. Pluto, and it urges us to dig deeper, to look for the deeper meaning and to release. So there can be a lot of feelings of like turmoil or just intense emotions in general with Pluto, but Pluto always wants it to be a catalyst to take us to the next alchemical stage, if you will. So yeah, just this is we'll still see one more visit with Pluto in Capricorn at the very end of 2024. But yeah, Pluto's going to station direct. It's going to return to Aquarius. Pluto's going to be returning to Aquarius and end of January. So right around the start of Aquarius season, we'll see Pluto finally get back to Aquarius. But then in late 2024, so September of 2024, we're going to see Pluto retrograde back to that final 29 degrees of Capricorn and hang out there through, I think, November. Yeah, November. So yeah, we still have one last little serving of Pluto Capricorn, but this is our second to last one. So enjoy it. And I hope it's good for you. And I hope it helps usher in some much needed changes that we need to see in the world. I hope that this can help us. I don't know, maybe it won't happen until Pluto enters Aquarius, but we really do need to tax the ultra wealthy. We really do. So hopefully that will bring it. Sometimes I think Pluto in the sign doesn't necessarily bring the change. I think it can actually make things worse. I've said it before, but we've seen the wealth gap grow even wider. And yeah, we've seen the billionaires be wealthier with Pluto at the end of Capricorn. So yeah, I hate to see it, but that's the astrology. So for right now, that's your Pluto station astrology shot of the day. Catch you next time. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine.